Hey, it's Niamh, and in this video we're going to look at why you can't figure out what to do with your life and what you can do about it. Stay tuned. Now, unfortunately, it's actually a completely common complaint to not be able to figure out what the heck you want to do with your life. I mean, when we're young, we're sort of told that we're going to be something. People ask us, what are you going to be when you grow up? And we say, I'm going to be a firefighter, I'm going to be an actor, I'm going to be a deep sea diver, whatever idea we had in our mind. It was this one thing that was going to do it all, So now we come to adulthood and we expect to find the one career that's going to both define us, it's going to fulfill us, and it's going to pay us. And at this point, that's a lot to ask of one career. And we have this image that everyone else has figured it out and they know the one path that they're going to follow for the rest of their lives. But when we look at the world this way, what we're doing is we're expecting one vocation to fulfill two needs, okay? So we're looking at the need of doing fulfilling work on a day-to-day basis, working on things that really make us feel more us and we feel good about and we enjoy doing. And the second need is the need to get paid, the need to make money to live whatever kind of lifestyle we want to live. So this feeling of not knowing what to do with our life usually happens when we're either not on a fulfilling path, maybe you're in a job and you're making money but you don't like it, or when we aren't sure that the fulfilling path we'd like to take, something we'd like to pursue, we don't see any way to actually create an income from it. So that can lead to us feeling like we're not sure what way to go. Or maybe you don't even know what would feel fulfilling to you. Maybe you've never even given yourself the space to pursue interests. So the best way to really figure out how to move forward in your life is one, to realize that there is no one perfect path, but it's all about moving forward in a way that's going to help you fulfill those two needs. So if we can uncouple the two, you're already halfway there. So instead of saying, what am I going to do with my life? Start saying, number one, ask the first question, how can I feel more fulfilled on a day-to-day basis? And the way you're going to feel more fulfilled is finding more flow in your life, finding more things that you do that you can kind of lose yourself in, that you lose that sense of time, that you can feel, you can see progress being made, you can enjoy what you're doing while you're doing it. This can be anything. This can be writing, it can be drawing, it can be your work, it can be learning, it can be pursuing higher education, it can be growing things in your own garden, it can be creation, it can be, even making connections, reading 2 books and figuring out, the overlays, like how one concept connects to another. That's, to me, incredibly fulfilling. So your pursuits on a day-to-day basis, you can say, how can I find more fulfillment on a day-to-day basis? This is the point to be a little bit experimental, to just try out doing things that you've maybe been interested in doing before and see what gives you that sense of progress, of growth, and of fulfillment. And then that brings us to question number 2, and this is actually where people get this wrong. They figure out what fulfills them and then they go, how am I going to turn this into money? And the truth is, the things that truly fulfill you may or may not be able to give you money. Like, frankly, most things that you do, there's a way to make money, but it might not be the level at which you need to support yourself. It might not be even obvious when you start getting started on what you're doing. Maybe you have to reach a mastery level before you can turn it into some kind of income. So instead of kind of figuring out what you love and then finding a way to make money from it, a much more powerful thing that you can do is flip that over on its head and instead say, okay, let's ask question number 2. How can I create an income that allows me the room to pursue the things I want to pursue? So when you flip the income from coming from the pursuit to providing a space for the pursuit, you find that that it's much easier. It's a much easier proposition than trying to shoehorn the things you love into somehow having to squeeze out money for you. So instead, you're looking at, how can I create an income that gives me the free time that I need to actually pursue this thing that makes me feel happy and fulfilled? Now, there's a couple ways that you can approach this question. Number one is you can choose a career path that provides you a lot of time. This can be something like sales. You know, a lot of people in sales, they work on commission, so they find ways to be more efficient with their time. What you really want to look for is some kind of career that gives you as much free time as possible. Time will become your most valuable asset. The other thing is to kind of look at, well, what is the lifestyle that you really need? You know, a lot of us, when we're in some kind of dead-end job or job that we don't feel fulfilled in, we try and fill the fulfillment need with things, you know. So maybe like you're in a job and it pays you pretty well, and you pour all your money because you don't like the job, you pour all your money into a big car or a big house or just things. Maybe you go out and, you know, buy lots of clothes because it makes you feel better, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But what if instead you were using the job as a way to provide space to do something more fulfilling at home? Maybe you don't need a big car. Maybe you don't need all those things. So maybe you could cut down your hours at work, provide more free time, because you're going to feel more fulfilled and feel more happy on a day-to-day basis. Now, the other thing is you can become a lot more creative about how you make your income. Like for me, I do an online business. That means that I have to spend a little bit of time working on my business, but then I have an enormous amount of free hours because the work I do is leveraged. So I do some work and then it goes and works for me and creates income for me. So I'm free to do the things that I enjoy. Now, I also read recently about a guy who created an eBay business. So he was selling stuff online so that he was free to then go and live in Africa and do aid work, because that's what he really wanted to do, but there wasn't really enough money to support himself, you know, doing aid work in Africa. So you can be really creative about how you create the income and look at, what do you really need? You know, what do you really need? How much money do you really need to do the things that you want to do? And it's probably a lot less than you think, and it's probably tons of creative ways that you can create that. You know, I know someone who has funded trips around the world for himself playing poker online. So he's both fulfilled playing poker, it's enjoyable, and it's given him some extra income. It's not like I'm going to base my whole life on this, but it's created that sense of freedom and fulfillment, and also, you know, given an income that allows him to do what he wants to do. Now, you may find that after you've separated out these two questions, that one of your pursuits obviously blossoms into some sort of career path. And when it happens that way, it's totally natural. That's fine. Go with it. You might find that, you know, you start to pursue writing and you've never given yourself space to, and all of a sudden you're finding opportunities to sell your writing. Maybe you become a freelance writer. Maybe you actually manage to publish a novel, and then that becomes a source of income for you. So one of these things might blossom into a career. The point is to just not put the pressure of what you love having to provide you the money, and not put the pressure on the job to fulfill you as well. Following this method, you'll probably feel happier, more fulfilled, and like you have purpose and direction in your life. The important thing is to flow with it, to realize that there isn't really a linear path that any life follows. It's not, you know, I choose to be this and then I follow that path for the rest of my life. Human beings are adaptive. We change, we grow. This is all about finding your happiness and your purpose in a day-to-day basis while seeing where your life takes you. So I hope this has helped you figure out what you want to do next, and you can see where your life goes from there. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next video.